What is going on, guys? Matt Downs with Daily Grind Fantasy Sports here to give you the edge for this NBA 10-21 slate on DraftKings. Cannot wait to break it down. If you guys are brand new to this channel, we provide both free and paid content for all daily fantasy sports across all sports. If you could please show your support by hitting that subscribe button, notification bell, and of course smashing that like button for all of our future NBA content. If you would like to know more about becoming a better DFS player and taking down that big GPP, head over to www.dgfantasy.com. On dgfantasy.com, we give you cheat sheets for every major sport along with ownership projections, actual projections, and strategy for every single slate. We also cover optimal cash plays as well as preferred GPP plays and stacks for specific contest sizes. We do the dirty work for you. We are also currently partnered with Fantasy Cruncher, the best optimizer in the industry. When signing up for our $30 package, you also get a $20 credit to use towards any Fantasy Cruncher product. We provide the best value in the industry. Now let's go ahead and dive right into this NBA 3-game slate on DraftKings. But first, I want to go over some Discord success here. This is from dgfantasy.com members only. So we had a great, fantastic night last night on an 11-game slate. We love the bigger slates just because more volatility, it's easier to pick out better plays. Guys like Chris Duarte. And these were some of the screenshots that were sent in. $12 turned into $250 here, $5 turned into 10 and a double up. We had more screenshots. This was a cash lineup. The only dud here was Joel Embiid, but he was chalk, so it did not matter. $89 and $179. This is one of our coaches. Fantastic. All the way down. I can keep scrolling down here. $200 won by this member. This person turned, I think, 25 cents into 25. Turned $19 into 62. Keep scrolling, keep scrolling, keep scrolling. I mean, so many lineups were sent in here. We had another close takedown. $5 turned into 60 here. $118 won. I know TJ broke even. We had a close takedown winner here. $15 turned into 203. $15 turned into 25. Picked up a W here. $5 turned into 65. You guys get the point. If you guys want to sign up for dgfantasy.com, we post all of our favorite GPP plays, cash plays. We post our ownership projections, actual projections, all that you can upload into an optimizer. We are also partnered with Fantasy Cruncher. If you sign up for a $30 membership, you get a $20 voucher to any Fantasy Cruncher product. So if you guys want to sign up for the NBA package on the light version of Fantasy Cruncher, it's only $20 a month. So you literally get a $30 package with our website and a completely free to use tool on Fantasy Cruncher for only $20 a month. So all that is included in our package. Let's go ahead and dive right into this NBA slate. We have here the injury report. I always start out by going over the injury report because it shows you a better idea. It gives you a better idea of where the chalk is going to be, the high-owned plays, where to pivot, and what the public is thinking. Here with Dallas, we don't have any injuries on their side. With Atlanta, we have pending injury here. Pending injury news with Gallinari, Lou Will. With Milwaukee, we have DiVincenzo officially out, Hood, Ojale, and Bobby Portis. Drew Holiday is probable to play in this game. That's very noteworthy. He was questionable, but is now probable. Victor Oladipo is not going to make his debut here with Miami. He is still out. And then with the Clippers, we have Batum, Ibaka, Johnson, Leonard, Preston out. However, the price tags have been adjusted for the Clippers, but I will go over them here in a little bit. And then with the Golden State Warriors, Kuminga, Thompson, Wiseman still out for them. They have already played their first game, which was 2 nights ago. All right, let's go ahead. I'm going to go team by team just because this is a smaller slate, and I'll give you guys my favorite overall plays. Generally, what I do is I go give you guys the more obvious plays and go over my favorite GPP plays, and then I end it with my favorite overall type of lineup construction and then go over prize picks. With this, I'm just going to go over team by team just because it's a small slate. With the Dallas Mavericks, technically right now, Jalen Brunson is showing the highest or one of the higher owned guys here on this slate. I don't believe in that just because I think he's going to be playing about 15 minutes. He's just going to be GPP viable in my opinion. He's only projected about 15, 16 minutes-ish, and this entire team is healthy. And really, I don't have any interest outside of like Luka Doncic and maybe Porzingis for bigger GPPs, just because we know Luka can have a ceiling game any game of the season. Right now, he's showing 27.3% owned. I think it's pretty fair. I don't consider anybody else on this roster cash viable. It's just going to be GPP plays for me outside of maybe Luka Doncic. Switching over to the Atlanta side, no interest in these guys whatsoever just because of the price tags. Price tags have been adjusted. Clint Capella can make for a decent GPP play, but $7,200, really no interest. Again, I have the industry averages put into these, or put into the projections here for Fantasy Cruncher. Trae Young at $9,100 could be a GPP option in my opinion. Right now, he's showing 19.8% ownership, so that's a little bit on the lower end. Does have that ceiling potential to get it done here versus Dallas. But outside of larger GPPs, again, really no interest here in this game as a whole. and Atlanta is 2-point favorites. This is the second highest over-under on the entire slate. Switching over to Milwaukee, they have not gotten Giannis's price tag right yet. This will be adjusted to about 11 to 12K at some point in the season. As we saw, he went ballistic in game 1, only played 31 minutes and still scored 66 DraftKings points, did absolutely everything for this team, defensively, offensively, and I do think he needs to be a core piece in your cash game builds. 35.9% is actually one of the higher owned guys here on the slate. Another guy I want to include yet again in my cash build. I included him last time he burnt me because he got injured, but Drew Holiday went down in price tag. That's just not right. $6,500. We have him projected right now for 38 DraftKings points. That just doesn't make sense. He's a fantastic value play. Drew Holiday and Giannis should be included in all your cash game builds. And also Jordan Nwora. He did play more because of the injuries that were to this team. And also he played a little bit longer there in the fourth quarter because it was a blowout. But I still do project him about 20 to 23 minutes-ish because he did have an impact on this game. He still scored 29 points in that small stint that he was out there. I really do like him. He's only 3.7K. He was bottom of the barrel price tag last game, but at 3.7K, I consider him cash viable. Right now, he's showing only 14.8% ownership. I do expect that to rise based on the way that these lineups are kind of constructing, coming together. Grayson Allen was a cash 4-piece last game because of his price tag. He was $3,800 last slate. Now he's $4,400. I think he makes more of a GPP play because of that price increase. But he's still playing about 29 minutes. He did play 28 last game, and I do expect him to play more in a competitive game. Right now, this game spread is at 2 points. Milwaukee is slightly favored here. So I do expect this to be more competitive than the Brooklyn game there. But outside of that, don't have any real interest. Chris Middleton at $7,300 can be included in your GPP pool because we know he is basically scoring dependent. But definitely like that price tag there at $7,300. And Brook Lopez, also a GPP option, did disappoint there in game 1, even with the minutes that he was given at 28 minutes. All right, let's move over to the Miami side. There's also some cash options here. Bam Adebayo and Jimmy Butler are just mispriced in general. Jimmy Butler, we're used to seeing him at around 9K. He's 8.3K, so he is carrying a little bit of ownership. I do consider him cash viable. I'm leaning more so on the Milwaukee side just with Giannis. I think he has a higher overall ceiling. But Bam Adebayo at 7.6K, definitely don't hate him with the lack of center options. And at 7.6K, I think that's a great price tag. He's a good matchup versus Brook Lopez. And other than that, really no interest here. The rest of these guys are just strictly shooters. Tyler Hero, Duncan Robinson, even PJ Tucker are strictly shooting. Kyle Lowry, we really don't know how he's going to look here in this offense, and an 8.1K price tag seems a bit too high with the high usage of Jimmy Butler, also Bam. Kyle Lowry should be an awkward fit in this offense, and I don't expect him to get that high of a DraftKings output day in, day out. I expect his price tag to decrease there from 8.1K. We're used to seeing, Kyle Lowry at between 7 to 8K on the Toronto Raptors team where they needed him a little bit more. Last but not least here, we have the Clippers. Clippers are an interesting picture because, again, we have a lot of guys out for these guys. Kawhi Leonard is officially out, but the price tags have already been adjusted. So if you guys just look down here, Paul George at 9.7K. No interest at that price tag, really. I mean, honestly, we know that whenever Kawhi's out and Paul George is at like 8K, he's an automatic plug and play. But we have him at 47 DraftKings points right now, 35 projected minutes. That just comes out to a fair value. Comes out to a 4.8 point per dollar value. So don't mind him for GPPs, but cash games he's definitely not necessary. Hartenstein at 3.1K projected 16 minutes. It's going to be him and Zubac. And just overall, the salary on these two guys are very, very low. Zubac, we expect to play about 29 minutes. Whenever he plays over 25 minutes, he does very, very well at a 5K price tag flat here. He is carrying some ownership. So right now we have him projected at 29 fantasy points. I do like him here at this 5K price tag. And I also like Hartenstein, but Hartenstein's definitely more of a GPP option just because of the lack of minutes. But I like him as a value play here at 3.1K. I'm coming out to a 6.2 point per dollar value for Hartenstein, and he's a very good fantasy point per minute player. Last but not least, we have the Golden State Warriors. They've already played just like the Bucks. Jordan Poole was a beast in game 1, scored 30 points, and at a 5.5K price tag, definitely appropriately priced. He is carrying some ownership just because he is another scorer there in the offense next to Steph Curry. They are still without Klay Thompson, so they're going to need guys like Jordan Poole. They're also without Kuminga still, so Jordan Poole should see his full allotted minutes. Keep in mind these guys were pulled a little bit early. Only played 25 minutes. I do expect him to still play more. Right now we have him projected for 33 minutes. And also Steph Curry with a beast. Feel like he's a very safe price tag here at 10K as long as the games do remain competitive. They are favored now at home, so I do like him here at 36.7% as yet another cash option. These other guys I'm not considering. I did expect their price tags to go down after game 1, and they sure enough did. Kevon Looney was a disappointment. Same thing with Andrew Wiggins. He always is. And Otto Porter definitely did not play as much as we expected him to at 12 minutes. So really, for cash and GPPs, I'm only considering Jordan Poole and Steph Curry. Right now, if I'm making a core, I'm locking in Nwora, I'm locking in Giannis, and I'm probably leaning on somebody like Steph, maybe Hartenstein for value, and also Zubac for additional value. We will be considering all this, and we'll be going over the updated ownership, some injury reports a little bit later on in the live stream. If you guys want to go to that live stream, we'll be going live around 6 to 6:30. And again, we'll have the updated injury projections, ownership projections, and actual projections for you guys a little bit later. Now let's go over my favorite prize pick entry here for this slate. If you guys haven't signed up for Prize Picks, one of our biggest partners, enter code using DGF for 100% match up to $100 when signing up. It's a very easy way to play DFS. If you guys aren't into building lineups on DraftKings, this is an easier way to play. You simply hit the over or under on any certain fantasy projection or player prop. Right now, I like the over on Paul George at 44 fantasy points. This is an up-paced game for them. It's going to be all on Paul George. And even though I don't love him in cash, I still think he has a high ceiling. I do like him for GPPs tonight. 44 over for the fantasy score. Lock that in. And that will end my video, guys. Hopefully you did enjoy this video. If you did, please do hit that subscription button, notification bell, and of course, smash that like button for all of our future NBA content. With all that being said, have a great rest of your day, and let's cash.